Are you serious? Are you serious? Guys, we have breaking news happening everywhere in the Middle East, in different countries, in different situations developing, including a massive explosion in Iran, in Tehran, Iran, this very hour. Also, latest on the Hamas hostage deal and what's happening there. It's getting very intense as we're approaching, of course, on Monday, the Feast of Tabernacles. Let me put a quick shout out right now. Let me tell you all about what's going on right now. It's a very fluid situation. But here's what I can say. I'm going to share with you in a moment. While many people are distracted maybe by the headlines, the insiders are still getting ready. Billionaires, big banks, even foreign governments, they're all quietly hoarding the gold and the silver. They know the dollar is being devalued, and they know the next crash is coming. So you ask yourself, why don't you own what they're buying? Or why don't we have even a fraction of the wealth of the gold and the silver? While they prepare, the average American is left in the dark. But you don't have to be. Over at Noble Gold, they're going to help us. They'll help make it simple to help protect the retirement fund that you have. By simply clicking on the link below the video, go to www.pastorpaulgold.com or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347. They will help you. You can acquire real assets that you can hold in your hand, gold bars or gold coins, or let them store it in a secured vault. Don't wait until the headlines confirm what's already happening behind the closed doors. You can stay ahead of this. You can follow the moves that the guys who are pulling the strings are doing. Visit www.pastorpaulgold.com or call them on the phone at 877-646-5347 and tell them that Pastor Paul sent you there. Behind me, you're seeing the glaring explosion fires that are burning in Tehran, Iran tonight. This is breaking news, just breaking about 45 minutes ago by Amir Safari. It's nowhere on the rest of the media, but those are actual pictures of what's happening in Iran. Major explosion. We're not sure who caused it, what caused it. Could it just be that it's a refinery fire? Maybe. Or is there something nefarious going on? Or is this part of a strategic plan, maybe, to squeeze Hamas, who are the right-hand arm of the Iranian regime of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei? We're not sure, okay? We're just not sure. As we realize we're approaching this Feast of Tabernacles season, the last of the fall feast, period. And I want to thank you. People have been sending in their Feast of Tabernacle offerings all day today and doing it with prayer requests for their families, for President Trump, for our nation, but mostly for their families and for the hostages who I'm very concerned could be and are, and I don't have to say they could be, they are in grave danger in the next 3 days. And we've been talking about that. Now, let me tell you what else is going on. Benjamin Netanyahu went to the television screen a couple hours ago live in Jerusalem, and he started to share his thoughts that he hoped that he could announce. He said the release of the hostages in the next few days, possibly. He said, I hope to announce hostage release. The hostages release in days, and vows that Hamas will be disarmed. Now, this could be a little bit of a shift from where he's been, which is Hamas can never be in control of Gaza again. This is a very dramatic 24 hours happening right now in Israel. Matter of fact, the Israeli prime minister said he hopes to announce the release of these hostages in the next few days that are being held in Gaza. He also said that during a televised statement that Hamas will be disarmed and Gaza will be demilitarized, either the easy way or the hard way, but it will be achieved. Hamas today said that Israel is continuing to commit massacres after the strikes hit Gaza and urged global pressure on Israel. President Trump said he would not tolerate any more delays from Hamas and that they must complete the deal in the 3-day period. And so he said Hamas needs to move quickly or else all bets are off. Later, the president posted that Israel had agreed to the initial withdrawal line as outlined by a map issued by the White House. The indirect ceasefire talks are now set to start between the parties in Egypt Monday, according to the Egyptian Foreign Ministry. There's a lot of mixed reactions going on in the Middle East, and maybe that's why this fire, something happened with this explosion in Tehran, Iran. And this is being reported by Amir Safari, and that's actually the picture of the explosion that he was able to acquire. Now, we know Hamas still holds 20 hostages that are alive and 38 hostage bodies that are dead. And we know that Trump and Netanyahu met in the White House on Monday trying to come up with what the plan is. But Netanyahu has always said that one way or the other, Hamas is not going to remain in power in Gaza. And so it is becoming an absolute chaotic situation, to say the least. And we are praying. Now, I reported earlier, of course, asking the body of Christ to pray and to intercede. And many of you, I saw you from my video I did earlier this morning where I was very passionate. And there's no doubt about that. I may have been as passionate as I've ever been, or as at least as passionate as I've been in the last 2 years, live on the air. But I asked people to respond, to pray, and the overwhelming response on the comments, you can read them on the comments of that video that's called Breaking 3 Days Left. I'm telling you now. Now, there's another report about a potential situation at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad in Iraq, but that report was initially released by Amir Safari, but it looks like he may have taken that down from his Telegram site. And so it could have been a false alarm, and that might have been why he only had it up there about a half hour, so that might have been, nothing has happened as far as I've been checking now and checking my sources. There's nothing happened at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad in Iraq. But there, of course, has already been a travel ban on or a travel high recommendation by the U.S. State Department that Americans really shouldn't travel into Iraq right now. It's a level 4 danger of potential conflict or even kidnapping. So that we already know. So we're looking at this situation now. It looks like this Hamas hostage in Gaza situation is coming to a head. President Trump is driving it home. He is telling Hamas they better hurry. They better hurry. Hamas is saying we agree, but, and I hate that, because when they do that, then they start shifting the goalposts and the yard lines and the goal. Everything just changes, and they end up reneging on the deal. And that's usually what they do. That's what they always do. And they will play and they'll placate and they'll stall and they'll blame and they'll try their best to get the world community to rally around them. And then they'll start doing these staged events, and they'll start doing these false flags, and they will start showing their people, and they'll start talking about this and that. When the truth is, Israel has been safely evacuating 700,000 Palestinians, or no, Arabs. They're not. There is no Palestinians. I mean, the Arabs that are in Gaza City down to the safe zones where Israel has built tent cities for them, supplying truckload and truckload after truckload and truckload of food, fresh fruit, fresh potatoes, pallets full. I've seen them. Pallets and pallets of fresh water. You don't hear anybody say anything about that right now at the UN because they know Israel's doing that. They know Israel's bringing all the supplies. And these fake flotillas that these people are trying to bring and trying to break through the Israeli blockade, that's nothing but just a stage events for propaganda. It's time we call it like it is. The Israeli people have waited long enough. 2 years. Folks, on October 7th, it'll be 2 years that these people have suffered without ever seeing the light of day, tormented and starved in the tunnels. These are innocent civilians for 2 years. Enough is enough. It is time that Hamas throw down their arms and surrender and release the hostages. There's no more time for negotiating. There is no more time. And I think that Netanyahu's made that clear. And I think President Trump is starting to throw the gauntlet down. Now, I'm praying that the President of the United States holds the line. You have to hold the line, Mr. President. Hold the line. And I stand with him, of course. And, of course, he has a bigger picture than I got, and I understand that he'll have to negotiate and work through the situation, which is very delicate. I'm well aware of that. I'm just praying that this is resolved, the people are freed, the hostages are released, the bodies of the dead hostages are released, the Hamas surrenders their arms and disarms, and let the healing begin. This has went on long enough. So this is where we're at. I'm going to take a deep breath. My jaw is aching and throbbing, and I don't really need to be getting any more excited, other than Amir Safari is well aware that the situation is very, very volatile right now in the Middle East. It is very volatile. And like I said, in Iran, there's a massive explosion. We don't know what it's about. We don't know if it could just be an accident. Could be something else. We know that Benjamin Netanyahu been on television this evening, giving hope to the Israeli people, saying, I hope to announce the release of hostages in the coming days. Trump has been holding the line, saying, look, this thing needs to end. And we know the 2-year anniversary of the hostages is coming up. The 2-year anniversary of the brutal attack by Hamas, which happened on the final day, the celebration day at the end of the Feast of Tabernacles 2 years ago. We know the Feast of Tabernacles starts Monday. And Tuesday, the 7th, is the 2-year anniversary, and we'll be in the Feast of Tabernacles. So as you are praying, please pray for the families of the hostages, and pray for the hostages as you're sending in your Feast of Tabernacle offerings. Please include prayers for your families, for sure, and your loved ones. But would you also include prayers for the hostages as you give your offerings unto the Lord in this Feast of Tabernacles? You can send your offerings to publiclyprophecy.com with your prayer request. You can go to our website. You can give there, or you can pick up the phone and call tomorrow at 765-414-2230, or you can put a check or money order in the mail with your prayer request for the Feast of Tabernacles. Send it to our Indiana address at Paul Begley Prophecy. That's Paul Begley Prophecy, 1048-B, Sagamore Parkway West. That's Sagamore Parkway West, Box 33, West Lafayette, Indiana. That's West Lafayette, Indiana, 47908. 47906. That's 47906. And pray. Pray that the peace of Jerusalem and the release of the hostages come to pass in the Holy Land. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Folks have really enjoyed the song I played earlier today by Israel Hall and A.C. Cordell. You can listen to it if you go back and watch the video I did earlier today. A lot of passion in that one. I even pounded the desk in that one. But it was needed. And prayer is needed. Shalom, shalom. God bless all of you.